When I graduated college, I spent a few years working for a marketing company. Was doing websites for them and really learning a lot in my industry. But I knew I was in a place that it wasn't where I wanted to be a few years down the road or 10 years down the road. One of the biggest frustrations for me was that I felt like no matter what I did with work, it wasn't growing my career. I felt like the harder I worked, it was just creating more product. It was just putting more out there, and it wasn't really growing my influence or giving me more opportunities to have a difference in people's lives. My brother introduced me to Mike to talk about some of my career and what I wanted to do with my life. At that time, I knew that I wanted to make a change in my career, but I really didn't know at all what I wanted to do. I knew that I needed to do something different.
A lot of the challenges that we have as leaders today is we don't have space to think. And so we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, we're frustrated because we don't have time to stop and think, okay, where do I need to go? Or what do I need to change? What do I need to improve?
Working with Mike was a really interesting process to me because I normally think of, all right, what's the big goal? And then let's just go try to run after it as hard as we can. And Mike worked with me at taking a step back and looking at some of the big picture goals first of all. One thing that I knew I wanted to do was pursue a job that fit three things: my passions, my personality, and my skill set. And I felt like I was really in a job that was teaching me a lot about my skill set, but I wasn't passionate about it.
Our work is very different. We're not about, hey, add this to everything else that you already have going. We eventually bring every person back, we help them back up and say, what do I want my life and work to look like? When we think about who and what are most important to me, and then how do I want my work to fit then within that overall life?
We took a step back and said, where do we want to be in 20 years? Where do we want to be in 30 years? And for me, taking a step back and pausing to look at that helped me get really focused on what I wanted to do. One of the things that Mike did really well was he helped me break down those big picture goals into actionable steps. My personal life now looks a lot different than it did a few years ago. Working with Mike has really helped me learn to take time every week to slow down, to look at the big picture of things, to look at where am I headed versus just head down, what am I doing right now in this day. I think there's a lot of wisdom in looking at people who are further down the road that you want to be down one day in your life. And for me, working with Mike, I saw that he was really focused on what was important to him. And for me, that's where I wanted to be in my life. I didn't want to spend all of my 20s and 30s chasing tons of different career opportunities and eventually maybe meeting one that I really liked. I wanted to get focused early in my life. I would recommend anybody who's looking at a career change or looking at building a new business or building something new with their work and wanting more meaning and purpose in their work, I would recommend Guidestone because they're going to help you skip through years and years of guessing at it. They're going to help you move straight towards what your passions are and what you really want to pursue. That it's hard for us to unlock that in ourselves, but following someone else's leadership and their guidance, that they've already been through that, that's why I would recommend that to somebody else.